Atmika Shakti or the Maya, material energy. So we think we after practicing for 10 years we think we are so good, no? But actually like this, in an instant one can fall.
But
Yeah.
Prabhu, isn't it that we read that if you practice, Lord gives you protection? It's
True.
not on your basis.
It is only applicable when your sincerity, is prominent, right? Oftentimes we practice, but we are not really sincere, so to speak. No, we do it to show people that if I would ask you to come and give a Bhagavatam class in the temple, then you prepare all right. You do so much research just to make sure people won't first say that you didn't know your stuff. Secondly, you want to make sure you can at least present properly, right? But at any point of time, do you think what I'm going to say should affect the lives of these people? If what I speak and what I say, will it make them a better devotee? If that isn't in the heart, then what is in the heart, right? So for me that's critical. That's more important than giving an amazing class. It's how you are concerned of my spiritual life, how you're going to tell me to progress. Sometimes you can give all the 10 different things one can follow, but then you yourself don't follow. Then what is the value, right? So when we are associating, our association must be also meaningful in terms of spiritual life. Why we are associating? Oftentimes we associate just because the nature of the spirit soul is to have companionship. Not so much as to encourage oneself to become a better practitioner of spirit. So the Lord is always helping, but it depends on our intention behind it. Just like there is this pastime of Draupadi when she was being disrobed. At a point later on, she questions the Lord. Why didn't you? I called out. He said, in the beginning you felt that you could protect yourself. So I didn't feel that I needed to intervene. But later, when you said you have no one, then I came in. So it is always that spiritual life, as they say, is razor's edge, So you can either fall here or fall the other side, but it's very difficult to focus on the Lord in the beginning. But once you have that, then you won't fall down. If you reach Bhava stage, you will not fall down. Now the question is, why did he fall down? Yes, so it may not even just be these deers and all, So as we read, we'll understand. Now within the purpose, sometimes Srila Prabhupada is just giving us a preaching incentive. Sometimes he gives you the meaning behind the verse. Sometimes he wants us to understand what we should be doing for ourselves. Okay, so these things has to be properly assimilated. Then later on you can expand on it in your classes or whatever you do. But at all times, your intention must always be kosher. That means pure, for the benefit. And I am a representative of Vyasadeva, representing Srila Prabhupada. So I better speak properly for the benefit of the audience, not for my sake.
One of the sannyasis, I forget his name, he said in New Zealand, most people are coming so that they can find a good spouse.
Right, it's not only in temples, but
just like some places, like in Catholic also, people come
church.
so that they can get good quality wives and husband. Because outside it's all junk anyways, so at least little better.
Prabhupada used to say that also, right? He said many of the ladies go to the dham looking for a qualified man, hoping that they will marry them. And then he said many of the unscrupulous men dress up as saintly person and go to the dham so that they can get some ladies.
I had one lady in my class. She used to come regularly to the temple for 3 years, and then she got married to one of the devotees in the temple. After that, she stopped coming. She doesn't even write an email to me. She has job done.
Job done. Good husband.
That's it.
Yeah, but then they don't know, they think they are looking for good husband. Maybe the husband also is looking for some good wife, but they both may be cheating each other. So, maybe Krishna arranged for them to go out like that. Okay, so in the purport, Prabhupada emphasizes sadhana. Okay, from this we can understand how we have to be very cautious in executing our spiritual duties. Okay, by observing the rules and regulations and regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So that's what his point is. We shouldn't overanalyze the thing. Very simple, straightforward, sadhana bhakti. If we neglect doing this, we will eventually fall down. So what is he saying is, Maharaj Bharata even stopped doing his daily sadhana practices. Even though he's at Bhava platform, one of the symptoms is that he did not do. Anyway, generally one in the Bhava platform may not even follow regulative principles. Then Prabhupada says things that we should be doing. Rise early in the morning, bathe and attend Mangalarti, worship the deities, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, study the Vedic literatures and follow all the rules prescribed by the Acharyas and the spiritual master. Which means, do we do that? Right? Yeah. Question for us is, are we doing those things? And if we are not, then how can we even question Bharat Maharaj? Correct? Yeah. So that is very important for us. It should always, this whole idea of Bhagavatam and study is for us to actually make advancement. Sure, we come together, we are making some form of advancement, but in reality, you have to really want to make the advancement. Okay, it is not like because we come automatically. Yeah, it will happen, but it may take many lifetimes. By association. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, that actually invokes that intense desire to go back to Godhead. Yeah. But if you don't act on that desire, then it will go away.
So even Purport Srila Prabhupada says advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower.
Yeah.
In the program of that book.
Yeah. Attitude is very important.
Method of instruction, I think.
Yeah. Very important, which is what we all have to have a proper attitude even reading, and it's no point knowing the whole Bhagavatam and still not applying. So somehow or other you will find in your life, as you were saying, right, and you were asking earlier, that we have this, even though we know sometimes we make the wrong choices. Yeah. So therefore, in your life, I need to change myself, and that's where you're going to make advancement. And then that's where the Lord will be helping you. Otherwise it won't happen. So therefore this process applies to everybody. Right? From the lowest to the highest. That means from a new person who comes to the movement to a sannyasi, it applies. One cannot say, I am a sannyas, I don't need to do these things. So, but it is not for you all to judge the sannyasi. The point is, they themselves should know. You understand what I am saying? Now you read this, you go and say, oh, this sannyasi is not coming for Mangalarati. You can't. It's not for you. It's not that. That's not what the goal is. The goal is you are meant to practice. So if the sannyasi reads it, he also has to know, I have to practice these things. Like that. Even if he is pure devotee, he still has to practice. Because he has to set good examples.
In the Nectar Devotion you said that even the Raghunavan Bhaktas, they have to follow the rules.
Yes, yes. Externally they follow. Internally they do Raghunavan. Text 9. Aho Bhathayam Harina Kunakaha Vippana Ishvara Rata Charana Paribrahmana Rayena Swagana Surish Bandubhyaha Parivarjitaha Sharanam Cha Mopashadito Mameva Mata Pitarau Bratri Jnatin Yotikam Chayvopayaya Nanyam Kanchana Veda Mayati Vishrabdas Chata Eva Maya Matparayanasya Poshana Palana Trinana Lananam Anasuyana Nustiyam Sharanyo Peksha Dosha Vibusha Translation. The great king Maharaj Bharata began to think, alas, this helpless young deer, by the force of time, an agent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has now lost its relatives and friends, has taken shelter of me. It does not know anyone but me, as I have become its father, mother, brother and relatives. This deer is thinking in this way, and it has full faith in me. It does not know anyone but me. Therefore, I should not be envious and think that for the deer my own welfare will be destroyed. I should certainly raise, protect, gratify and fondle it. When it has taken shelter with me, how can I neglect it? Even though the deer is disturbing my spiritual life, I realize that a helpless person who has taken shelter cannot be neglected. That would be a great fault.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. That's what I'm saying. We cannot say that he doesn't know what he's doing. He is doing it knowingly. He's doing, and he's breaking the principles. Huh? It appears like that. Right? By nature he is Kshatriya, so it appears like, I have to give shelter. But remember, in the beginning, if you understand the animal lives and so on, even if a baby is all alone, you know what happens to the baby, right? It's going to be either killed by animals or it will die on its own. So what are you going to do about it?
It might survive also.
Or it may survive, but the point is you can't do anything about it, therefore you leave it alone. But he intervened. And therefore you see the consequences of that intervention. If the deer wasn't there, he wouldn't have to think like that.
Is intervening wrong, or intervening and not being attached is wrong?
No, he intervened for the wrong purpose, no? Right? Intervention is good.
He could have intervened, but not going
No, remember Prabhupada said you only intervene to
Help them spiritually.
help spiritually. So how can you help the deer spiritually?
Prasad.
Well, he wasn't doing that. So Prabhupada writes, and in the second sentence, an advanced person thinks of the suffering of the people in general, right? But what is their suffering of the people they see differently? Not that they are not eating or they are not thinking like they are thinking they don't have Krishna like that. However, if one does not know of the material sufferings of fallen souls and becomes sympathetic because of bodily comforts, as in the case of Bharat Maharaj, such sympathy or compassion is the cause of one's downfall. So it's very difficult if you are not learned at the same time.
Arjuna's situation.
Yeah.
Because Krishna was there to intervene.
Exactly. So you have to also be very careful when to show compassion for the right reason. But at the same time, you cannot act like a fool also and say, I'm showing compassion. Because unless you advance enough, you don't know how to show compassion. That's the other thing. See, agreed, no? Balance.
He is also
I think it's why there's some division in this ISKCON. Like one group says that we can open up schools and hospitals, and the other says no. I think it's the main point I'm missing. They have to raise the consciousness of the people, just not
Exactly. You raise the consciousness, then people will accept. And then even if they know it's right or wrong, they won't fight. Because your consciousness is higher.
Nine children.
Right? Yeah.
So I was thinking, Prabhu, same situation could happen to a mother in Krishna consciousness,
Yes.
right? They may think, it's a new baby,
Yes.
and take care and lose all the practices and...
Well, for Mother Prabhupada gave specific, he said that is the duty.
It's a duty.
It's a duty. Part of your duty as a mother is to take the child,
But
raise him in Krishna
because
consciousness.
Krishna gave her.
Yeah.
And
No,
the
but
child is-
can she stop chanting with that excuse, or at least try to chant, right?
You try, and if you can't, that's a different matter. Yeah. Not
the child
that.
is sick or something, then it's a different thing.
Yeah. It's not that you. I know many mothers who didn't chant when they were raising child because for them it was difficult. And then later on they took it up, so that means they were doing, they were sincere. Yeah. So similarly you have to see the situation. No?
So, Prabhu, isn't another perspective that deer was a living entity, part and parcel of Krishna? So
There
for
are
that
so many
compassion-
animals now being killed and so on,
Yeah,
right?
but
Every
he's
day.
agent of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It seems he's thinking that it's an agent
It's a
he's sent
service
to. It's a service.
No, as you have to see what. Okay, you may our intelligence can
Distort.
pack everything in different way and say it looks good, but Srila Prabhupada says very clearly. He says, because of bodily comforts, as in the case of Bharata, such sympathy or compassion is the cause of one's downfall. So we have to understand that in this particular case, it was wrong, because it wasn't like the Lord sent him that deer for. It could be, but the Lord will test us in any case.
What if it was a baby?
Huh?
If it was a baby.
Human baby, then it's a different situation, right?
Because you can elevate the
Elevate the consciousness, but you can't do it for a deer, unless you are a very powerful personality
Chaitanya
who
Mahaprabhu.
drop down from the sky and then you can elevate.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered it.
Ramanujacharya, huh?
And for the child, it has to be not on body.
No, yeah.
Similar to Arjuna's situation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Misplaced
If there was a child, I doubt he will care for it. He'll probably bring it to some place to take care. A human child is harder to take care. Yeah. I mean, I doubt.
You need milk.
Huh?
You need milk and
Yeah, exactly. So many things. If one is actually sympathetic to fallen, suffering humanity, he should try to elevate people from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness.
Actually, there is a story in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya project. There was one Acharya.
Yeah.
He was a Grihastha. And he had a son. While giving birth to the baby, the mother died. And then
One of the famous.
And then he said, I have to take care of this child. He was like that. And then, but when he saw there is a lizard, and then moving in the wall, and then a baby fell from it. And then after that, the baby survived. And he said, then he realized, I am not the protector of this child.
Yeah.
I cannot be just simply attached to the child. I have to do my service.
Yes.
So like that he had a realization.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the Acharya. But
Yeah, but anyway, it's all situation. For someone who's very elevated, it is the right thing to do because they have a higher purpose. For someone like you and I, we don't have higher purpose, so we better take care of the child because it's our duty.
it was Acharya.
Yeah, so you have to see, again, I'm telling you all, try to understand in terms of the perspectives properly, otherwise you will misunderstand the
Proper guidance is
the points that the acharyas are trying to tell us.
The message.
The message, yeah, we will misunderstand the message also. Because Prabhupada later on says here that Bharat Maharaj, even though he was sympathetic, he forgot that it was impossible for him to elevate a deer to spiritual consciousness. Okay? So therefore, we also have to be very careful in how we, even if you say I'm preaching to a human being, half of them are not human beings. Sorry, 90% are not human beings. Right? They're all living animalistic life, generally. Therefore, how you raise their consciousness, so through Harinam little bit, through Prasadam little bit, eventually they will awaken the consciousness and they will question. And that's when the inquiry starts, why and so on. You can't go and inject and tell them, I've given you some magic. It doesn't work like that.
So we give it to everybody, and then whoever is favorable, we cultivate them.
Exactly, yeah. You cannot expect everyone to come through the doors of the temple. We are ready to help anyone, but we cannot expect everyone. That's the difference.
And even if they enter, we may not have the capacity to...
Exactly. So, what do? You be the best person you can be.
Yeah, one person came to my class. He's from Kerala, he's a Christian, and he's saying I have all bad habits, I do drugs, and he came to America and he got into all this association. He said he doesn't even associate with Indians anymore, and he said women and this and that.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do, and I don't have the capacity to elevate him really.
Yeah.
I said just chant. What else can I say?
Yeah,
Basically.
that is the right answer. But at the same time, come, take association, take prasadam. Yeah. And then slowly the bad qualities will go. Yeah, it's not an instant thing.
He looks open-minded though.
He looks open-minded. Normally Christians are not.
Well, when you go through life and you see it in many different ways, then you'll understand that there's...
He became a Westerner, so that's why he's open-minded.
Yeah.
Drug opened his mind maybe.
Probably, but if that's the case, everyone can take drugs. You know? Right? In that case, we should spike all our prasadam with drugs to open people's mind. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes our mind, it's like, generally who comes to the Lord? 4 types of people. So the first one is,
Distress.
yeah,
That
so
is
that
the
is the
most
category,
99%.
and they are the best. Yeah.
No, but isn't there a risk that those people may contaminate the consciousness of the people
Not
once they come into the
Depends on
temple?
the others.
Each of you are individuals, you know. It's not that the person is contaminating that
I
person.
willingly
You are
choose.
willingly accepting.
It's up to us.
So
to
therefore,
do
when you are training people, you have to tell them it's your choice. You know, I'm
We-
giving you the information. You're the one who's deciding to be good or bad.
We
right?
keep a boundary. We don't
Yeah.
take associations from them. So
Yeah, we should be careful not to involve in their lives and get into entangled, right?
Yeah, you know, help is one thing, but sometimes I've seen also people get too involved in helping one person, and then at the end, after 2, 3 years or 5 years, the other person says, "Nah, I don't want you as my friend." Then,
The whole investment is wasted, yeah?
not this investment, their heart is broken, which means you are expecting some results. We are not into results actually. We are wanting to elevate the consciousness. Srila Prabhupada makes it very clear. All we are doing is trying to help this suffering living entity to raise their consciousness. We don't own them. Who owns them? At all? It's Krishna. Right?
even materially,
Yeah.
I noticed we should always provide help when they ask it.
Yes.
If we don't,
Materially you help. Yeah.
No, even materially also, I'm just saying.
Yes, you help.
If you go and help somebody without they asking, so it later actually causes problem.
Yeah. Depends what kind of help. Like if they really want to, like, accident or what, you help, that's fine.
That's a different thing. Yeah.
And one short term little bit help is fine, but not calculative. If I get then I'll get promotion like that. Forget it. You will get the promotion in different ways. Yeah. Text 10. Nunam hi aryaha sadava upashama shilaha kripana surida evam vidate swartannapi gurutaran upekshante. Even though one is in the renounced order, one who is advanced certainly feels compassion for suffering living entities. One should certainly neglect his own personal interests, although they may be very important to protect one who has surrendered. So this is justification,
Mind playing.
right? This is justification.
Main problem is no association.
Yeah, that's true. Main problem is that. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, material conditions are already established by the superior administration according to one's karma. You cannot avoid that. Each of us, you know what you went through in life and will be going through. They cannot be changed. The only benefit we can render to suffering beings is to try to raise them to spiritual consciousness. Therefore, our preaching must be centered in that perspective. Even when you go out giving some pravachan or book distribution of prasadam, you should always think, I hope it raises their consciousness. That's all. You can't keep building castles. Oh, there's another devotee now. Yeah, they are, but potential devotees. But it's not in your hands. It's in the Lord's hands.
So when somebody comes in distress and explains their situation, what should be the...
Then you give good advice.
Like how they can see it as mercy of the Lord and like kind of...
You see, oftentimes everyone wants to give a solution. Right? Somebody comes and tell you, oh, I have this problem, then you immediately think you have the amazing solution. But actually you don't have the right solution. What you can say is that, alright, you have this problem, I can recommend you so and so, who is an expert in that field. So husband and wife, go and see a consultant, lawyer or somebody if you want to divorce. You are not the person, right? And if they have some bank problem or so you can say, I know this financier who knows everything of finance. Talk to them. Why you think you know all the answer? Right?
Ego.
Exactly. false ego, thinking I know how to fix them, and hoping to be applauded, right?
He doesn't want it. Yes, done.
Okay, so oftentimes we want to help, we're thinking, oh, I'll solve his problem and then I'm the greatest living entity.
Yeah,
But it's
Maya,
not like, huh?
Maya acts like that.
Yeah. So it's not like that,
It's a
huh?
story like Abhimanyu.
So,
You can go and can't
go
come out.
inside, yeah, but cannot come out, yeah. Then later on Prabhupada writes, one should not bother for material activities. If one is at all sympathetic or able to do good to others, he should endeavor to raise people to Krishna consciousness. So what it means is, yeah, you can give some advice, but the advice shouldn't be the main thing for you. You can say, look, these troubles you're going through, you can do this, meet this person, he's very good, he can help you. But I'll tell you one thing, you should come to the temple and then come and join pravachan or chanting. It really will help solve many of your problems. How it will solve? You will see. It'll take some time, but it will solve. Right? Everyone want instant solution. So you'll say you have to be truthful. It will take some time. That sometime could be a couple of lifetimes. But you are telling the
Depends
truth.
on him.
Yeah, it depends on that individual. Come, it'll help. And then after 6 months, they say, I still have these problems. Then you'll see their lifestyles are a mess. It's not regulated. It's just nonsense lifestyles. And so you say, look, if you lead a clean life, you'll have a better perspective, and the way you look at life is different. So here we teach you how to look at life in another way. Are you willing to do that? Right? So you're still being truthful. Then the person will say, oh, okay, let me think about it. Then they won't come back after that. If they're sincere, they'll come. Right? We are not here to make numbers. We are here to help them raise their consciousness. And you have raised the consciousness by inviting them and speaking some truth. It's always, they cannot get it out. Yeah. It's not easy to get rid of Krishna. He's with you forever. Right? So in this way, everyone advances spiritually by the grace of the Lord. Okay. That's how you help. For our instruction, now comes the punchline. For our instruction, Bharata Maharaj acted in such a way. We should be very careful not to be misled by so-called welfare activities conducted in bodily terms. One should not give up his interest in attaining the favor of Lord Vishnu at any cost. So Bharat Maharaj acted in such a way. So now Prabhupada is giving us a clue that Bharat Maharaj knowingly acted in that way.
To say what happens if somebody neglects.
Yes.
To show. Like Bhishma.
Yeah. So we can understand this. Now the whole thing, I was also confused because this he's in Bhava platform, how can it? So I asked Giriraj Swami, then he directed me to Brihad Bhagavatam. So it is in there, it explains that Bharat Maharaj was so advanced that such a wonderful king is making so much. So people started coming and were disturbing him. And he could not, he is so humble, he doesn't want to be involved with all those people. So then he willingly wanted to fall down. But at the same time, as an example.
The Lord is teaching us.
Yes, the Lord is teaching using such a Maha Bhagavat.
So why did he do that? Because people are disturbing him.
Yeah, unnecessarily coming. Too much traffic, you can
Can
say.
go to some other place.
That is a holy place, no? He purposely came there. Yeah, Gandaki. So now people go there to
Collect Shaligram Shilas.
collect Shalagram Shilas and to show people I have Shalagram Shilas.
Yeah, it is like competition.
Yeah.
Some one person was saying, I have 12 Shilas, like that, no? Competition.
You shouldn't do that, no? You should have one is good enough. Just worship strictly.
You are not supposed to collect
Actually,
yourself.
we don't need it. No?
You are not supposed to collect yourself. Somebody is giving to you. You can-
Yeah, yeah. Then they collect also Giriraj.
Govardhan Shilas
But
also.
that also you say you cannot collect. You must
should not
be
actually, we
given.
should not even take anything from
Must be
Giriraj.
given by Brajabasi. You cannot just take, and it should be. You should give equal in weight of that stone you take in gold.
Oh,
Brajabasi didn't know that one.
They know about it, we don't know.
No, they know they're not interested in all this stuff. But even on its own, if it comes, like Intaduma Swami, people just come because they see his exalted position. Then he does, but he only worships them. So that's fine. So there are special devotees in our movement, and you should understand they are special. You can't just collect and then I'm not going to worship. You don't do those things. Huh? So yeah, Bharat Maharaj acted in such a way for our instruction, because the Lord in his heart has indicated to him, you have to do this. So he was being disturbed, so the Lord said, okay, do this. So therefore he is participating in a Leela.
So that after 2 lifetimes he can pick it up
Yeah.
and perfect again.
But you can see what happens, right, to ordinary people like us. If we are not careful, we don't have 2 lifetimes of
That's why as a deer also he has his consciousness.
Of course,
Yeah.
because he is such an advanced person. Almost at the prema stage. So therefore he can remember. You and I probably won't.
We'll do that, we'll again be gone for many lives.
Yeah, we're gone.
Maybe forever.
It's not, yeah, we are gone. You don't know when next turn. Text 11. Iti krittana sangha asana sayanatana snana sanadishu saha mirga jahuna snehana baddharidaya asit. Due to attachment for the deer, Maharaj Bharata lay down with it, walked about with it, bathed with it, and even ate with it. Thus his heart became bound to the deer in affection. Same, whether it's man or woman, same.
Child also.
Child also is the same. So it's all based on the heart, false attraction.
Yeah, one lady in the temple was saying she has to get her granddaughter married, and she was very worried. I said, you are in the temple. You have a daughter who's take care of the granddaughter. Why are you worried about the daughter's granddaughter?
Nowadays is the problem, Everyone becomes parents forever. Right? So you once you marry a son and daughter, you also say, that's it. Don't ever come and tell me to raise your kids. I don't want to do that. Otherwise you'll say you'll get stuck.
I think even before that, right? Because by the time the kids are married, we are already ready for death.
You should be.
No,
Should be
I'm
preparing
saying-
for that. Text 12. Kusha kushuma samit palasha pala mulo dakhani aharishyamano vrikkashala vrikadibhyo Vayam asam samano yada saha harina kunakena vanam samarvishati. So he's so afraid, no? When Maharaj Bharata wanted to enter the forest to collect kusha grass, flowers, wood, leaves, fruits, roots and water, he would fear that dogs, jackals, tigers and other ferocious animals might kill the deer. He would therefore always take the deer with him when entering the forest. Just see what happens. Yeah. So the Lord Himself is allowing him to increase his affection for the deer and fall down like that. Yeah. Next, text 13. Hathishu cha mugda bhavena tatra tatra vishaktamati pranaya vara hridayah karpanyar skandenodvahati evam utsanga purashi chadayupalalayan mudam paramam avapa. Translation. When entering the forest, the animal would appear very attractive to Maharaj Bharata due to its childish behavior. Yeah, every baby, if you see, the Lord has structured the baby to look attractive and helpless. So anyone who looks at a child will want to take care. That's how they are created. They are so disproportionate. The head is so big, the body is so small, and the legs, and you are thinking, I have to take care. And it's like that. So similarly, the baby deer also is so attractive to Maharaj Bharata. He's like, I have to take care. He felt great pleasure in fondling the animal. Maharaj Bharata would even take the deer on his shoulders and carry it due to affection. His heart was so filled with great love for the deer that he would sometimes keep it on his lap or when sleeping on his chest. In this way, he felt great pleasure on fondling the animal. So while flying here, there was a lady who sat next to me, and she had 2 dogs.
In the lab, you mean?
Yeah, not yet. We didn't board yet. So she sat next to me with 2 dogs, and then she started talking to a young lady, and then she was like, and another lady saw her and said, you can take the dog, and she said, yeah, only, because Alaska is the only airline in US that allows that. And so they were talking, and the other lady was telling, I have to leave my dog behind, but it's, after a few weeks it comes to a ticket, the cost of the, they have to get some person to take care of the dog. So this lady was saying, I tried that, and so now I don't do it now. According to the papers, I only have to pay $100 to bring it in. So they bring the dog. So she had 1 dog in a box. Another dog she said, this dog is very more sensitive, so I have a letter from the doctor. So and she will sit on my lap, and I'm like, oh my God. And she was kissing the dog and hugging and all that. I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, but she's a nice person, they have compassion and all. And I was thinking, probably next life dog,
The previous purport Prabhupada written this.
Yeah.
The previous purport was
Yeah.
was writing.
Yeah, I know.
Due to the affection for the cats and dogs, they have to take the same bodily forms.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to tell you, personal experience, I've seen it many times, people kissing all the animals. And this is what happens, you think it's normal after a while.
Yeah. Once you violate,
Once you violate, you may feel bad one time, and if you fix it, it's okay. If not, you will have the courage to continue violating it. Yeah. So Prabhupada says, one who's serious in advancing his spiritual life should be very cautious not to become attached to anything but Krishna. So what is the point he's saying here? What's the point for you to take in that sentence?
Krishna should be always in the center.
Huh?
Krishna should be always in the center.
Krishna should be in the center. What else?
Which sentence?
Not to be attached.
Can you repeat the sentence?
What sentence?
It is there.
one who is serious in advancing his spiritual life.
That means he is not serious in advancing.
Exactly. What you need to take from here is, you should always ask yourself, am I serious or not? Then all the other things will fall in place. It's not a question of being attached or not attached. The question is, are you serious?
It is the heart.
Yeah.
That's,
Right?
that's the heart.
That is
No, take it easy.
Huh?
No, take it easy.
No easy rule. You have to be serious.
If that decision is properly made, then automatically
Exactly.
everything will follow.
Exactly.
That's the heart.
Exactly. That is the hardest point for all of us, because we are always bewildered. Or we let ourselves become bewildered, because it's easier to make decisions when you are bewildered. Ignorance is bliss. That's the problem with us. So Prabhupada continues, sometimes in order to preach we have to accept many material activities, but we should remember that everything is for Krishna. If you remember this, there is no chance of our being victimized by material activities. There you go. If you are serious, you will know how to use what you have.
Yes.
If not, then you're like, it's okay. One time is okay.
Because
Two
we are a
times.
preaching mission.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to engage in activities. for
Yeah,
person.
exactly. But you know, I'm doing it for that.
So it's all boils down to that sincerity, right, Prabhu? That
Yeah.
argument. So if somebody comes with some amount of sincerity, is there a way for them to? What is the way for them to increase that sincerity?
You have to be a good example.
That's the only.
Yeah. You yourself must be so good in your practice that they
Get
attracted and they will follow. Now if you are flipping and flopping like a fish out of water, then it won't last long. Then they lose their faith in you. And then they'll look for another person like Pumschali.
Like we take example from senior devotees.
Exactly, right?
sannyasis.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why senior devotees must always set good examples. Most of you are now getting to be senior. So you also have to be, new people will look at you. And if you flip and flop in the way you talk, then talk the walk. Yeah.
So you also connect them with the senior devotees. It's not just you. Or
Yes, exactly.
It's not your,
Exactly, it's not your, whatever you do, you say, I learned from this senior devotee, so I'm teaching you. That's also, you never are in charge of them like that. You say, I can help you, but I'm not your guru. I'm your Siksha guru. That's
Who is
good.
qualified for Siksha Guru at what? Within our movement, for example, whom we should...
Anyone who's connecting you with the Guru Parampara is Siksha Guru.
anyone who's in good standing.
It should be, that's a given. Actually, you can learn from anybody, but Siksha Guru means you actually will take them as good as your spiritual master. Yeah. But not only for some things, then only they are. Then it doesn't work. Text 14. Kriyayam nirvatyamanayam antaralepi uttayuttaya yadainam avichakshita tarhi bhavasa varshapatihi prakriti-stena manasa tasma ashisha ashaste swastistat vatsate sarvata iti. When Maharaj Varada was actually worshipping the Lord or was engaged in some ritualistic ceremony, although his activities were unfinished, he would still, at intervals, get up and see where the deer was. In this way, he would look for it. And when he could see that the deer was comfortably situated, his mind and heart would be very satisfied. And he would bestow his blessings upon the deer, saying, "My dear calf, may you be happy in all respects."
There's a deer consciousness.
Basically, it's like lovers, right? So it's so intense, he cannot even worship.
Each verse is going deep.
Yeah,
Deep consciousness.
that's it. It's going on the other way. The attraction, the deep samadhi is going differently.
Reversing all
So
this.
this verse is prescription. If you want to take deer in next birth, what you should do?
What you should do, yeah. Or anything, just substitute deer with whoever you want. Alright? In other words, if one's mind is distracted from worship, a mere show of worship will not be of any benefit. So what does it mean for you?
Mere show?
Where is it?
Third, fourth sentence. What does it mean for you?
Don't do show.
Fixed your mind.
Huh?
Mind control. And
Fix your mind.
Basically, where your mind is matters.
Where your mind is.
Don't
Matters.
become a hypocrite.
Don't be a hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
Exactly. Don't be a hypocrite. Be very sincere.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Satam prasanga, right? Satam means what? Truthful devotee. So you have to become truthful. And then you can associate properly. Otherwise you are cheating and you'll cheat them, and then they will finally one day they'll see you as a cheater. And then you won't get the blessing. You won't get the blessings. They're like, I don't want to look at that guy anymore. Then the Lord in the heart will understand this person is not favorable like that. So don't make a show of our practice, Krishna consciousness. Be serious about it. So, like you say, when you are preaching, new people, they see, wow, this guy is so serious, So then they'll be very careful with you. They don't associate for the wrong reasons. Because you set the standard. Right? If let's say they come to a temple, then you say, okay, very nice, we had nice kirtan, let's go to the pub, we'll have some drinks, after. And then the guy will like, oh, I guess it's okay, is it? Then he say, yeah, no problem. Krishna is in the heart, he knows. Right? So that's how we put things down or put things in perspective.
Actually, one young girl in the temple said, "Oh, you're not the body, you can do anything."
There you go. Well,
After coming to the temple for 10 years.
yeah, so now the philosophy she has understood. Finally she has understood.
Suffering.
So it's Mayavadi philosophy actually. So you can slap and say you're not the body.
You don't feel the pain.
You don't feel the pain. Yeah, foolish people, you know. You should ask her, if I slap you and you're not the body, right? Is it okay? Then she will say, I'll sue you in court. So then Prabhupada said the fact that Bharat Maharaj had to get up at intervals to look for the deer was simply a sign that he had fallen down from this spiritual platform. So you can see for yourself also. You don't have to look at anyone to judge. All this is for yourself. See whether you're focused, and if you're not, then you should know you're fallen. And then you become very despondent and pray hard. Text 15. Anyada brisham udvigna mana nasta dravina eva kripanaha sakarunam aditashena harina kunaka viraha vivala hridaya santapas tam evano socham kila kashmalam mahat avirambita iti hovacha. If Bharat Maharaj sometimes could not see the deer, his mind would be very agitated. Now it's totally gone. He would become like a miser who, having obtained some riches, had lost them, had then become very unhappy. When the deer was gone, he would be filled with anxiety and would lament due to separation. Thus he would become illusion and speak as follows.
From mental to now words.
Now, yeah, it was all fallen.
Different type of pranamba.
Yeah, this is separation also. It's a wrong separation. Text 16. Abhibada savai kripana ena balako mritta harini sutoho mamanaryasya shata kirata mater akrita sukritasya krita vishramba atma pratyayena tad aviganayam sujana ivagamishyati. Bharata Maharaj would think, alas, the deer is now helpless. I am now very unfortunate, and my mind is like a cunning hunter, for it is always filled with cheating propensities and cruelty. The deer has put its faith in me, just as a good man who has a natural interest in good behavior forgets the misbehavior of a cunning friend and puts his faith in him. Although I have proved faithless, will this deer return and place its faith in me? Just see.
Expectation of.
Yeah, exactly. The mind is playing tricks now with Bharat Maharaj. So you can see how our mind is a friend and an enemy as well. So here you can understand the same things that
He's
Krishna.
He's listening to the mind.
Yeah, now the mind is a guru. And he is now very much suffering. He's suffering. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, oh, I have to.
He thinks he is cunning and the deer is good.
Yeah. So Prabhupada says, according to the logic of Atmavan, Manyate Jagat. Everyone thinks of others according to his own position. So we are all guilty of this. You can see that he's thinking the animal is more noble than he is. So flipped at it. Text 17. Apeksheman asmin ashramo pavane shashpani charantam deva guptam drakshami. Alas, is it possible that I shall again see this animal protected by the Lord and fearless of tigers and other animals? Shall I again see him wandering in the garden eating soft grass?
Bodhi?
Yes.
Like you said he forgot about the Lord? Like,
You forgot all.
He forgot. Now he's only worried about the deer. Just like yesterday you forgot about sitting here. Right? Correct or not? Then you have to go be with your friends.
She had a friend.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the same thing. Your friends and you forget what's like that. Same. Bharat Maharaj. She had more compassion, yes. Text 18. Apichana vrikkaha shala vrikonyatamo vanaika chara eka charo va bhakshayati. I do not know, but the deer might have been eaten by a wolf, or a dog, or by the boars that flock together, or the tiger who travels alone. It's like sometimes your daughter or son is out in school and they say they'll come at 1 o'clock and it's now 2 o'clock and you're panicking. Right? It's like that. Oh, what happened? Did they get into an accident, or is that somebody kidnapped them, or whatever? So it is like that. A person with so much affection for something will think like that. So in the forest he can only think of all the bad things, Right or not? So similarly in the city he'll be thinking, oh, who kidnapped the deer? Maybe the deer has been sold as venison in some shop, like that he'll think like that. Barbecue. Yeah. Text 19. Nimlachati ha bhagavan chakala jagat shemuddayashtayi atmadyapi mamana mirga vadunyasha agachati. Alas, when the sun arises, all auspicious things begin. Unfortunately, they have not begun for me. The sun god is the Vedas personified, but I am bereft of all Vedic principles. That sun god is now setting, yet the poor animal who trusted in me since its mother died has not returned. Now, is it his job?
It's very poetic.
Yes. But is it his job? No, it wasn't. He took on the role. Right? He took on the role. It's an artificial role, and now he's thinking, the animal was trusting him and he hasn't done it. Animal will be animal. It'll be roaming and doing its own thing. So the sun is described as the eye of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you should know this Brahma Samhita also. You want to chant? Okay. Yat chakshuresa savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti rasesha tejaha yasya gnaya vamati samvrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham brahmavajami. Happy? It's good. He's the king of the planets, so he's been glorified here. And because Bharat Maharaj was saying how the sun, it means all auspiciousness, right? And at the same time, he's the eye of the world also, or the Lord's eye. The Lord actually sees everything in the daytime through the sun, and the night time through the moon and the stars. So you cannot always escape.
Witness.
Yeah, there's always witnesses everywhere. So you can only cheat yourself.
Including Chitragupta's
Huh?
Including Chitragupta's camera.
And including his. They are empowered personalities. So the super soul in our heart reveals everything to them. So you cannot therefore escape anything. You have to just accept your mistakes gracefully or graciously. Text 20. Apiswit akrita sukritam agatya mam sukayishyati harina raja kumaro vivida ruchira darshniya nija mirga dharaka vinoday asantosham swanam abanudan. That deer is exactly like a prince. When will it return? When will it again display its personal activities which are so pleasing? When will it again pacify a wounded heart like mine? I certainly must have no pious assets, otherwise the deer would have returned by now. So you substitute the word deer with your boy or girl or boyfriend, girlfriend or anything.
Ideally Krishna.
Or it should be Krishna, but we don't. So Prabhupada says this condition, when you're thinking like that for an animal and just like that, is called moha. One is now in illusion. Yeah. And now So you can see also sometimes you can if you are not in public places, maybe at the airport is the only places most of you are gathering before you fly up. Then you can see how sometimes lovers, they talk to each other. They call each of them Gugu, Gaga, and all those funny names they give each other, right? It's so meaningless, but they understand. And they feel so much affection and love. They'll come up with some kind of name for each other, and that's acceptable. But 10 years later, they probably divorce and stuff like that. But the thing is, one goes into illusion, based on senses. Text 21. Shvilikayam ma mrisha sammadinamilita drisham prema samrambena chakita agatya prishad apurusha vishana grena lutati. Alas, the small deer, while playing with me and seeing me feigning meditation with closed eyes, would circumambulate me due to anger arising from love, and it would fearfully touch me with the points of its soft horns, which felt like drops of water. If you hate the person, you will feel like nails stuck in your back. But because you love the person, it feels soft and wonderful. Right? Just see, right? It's all perspective. Right? If somebody you like comes and touches you on the shoulder, or you feel, this is good. But someone you hate, he touched me, now I have to take bath, We think like that.
The one who has the exchange with Lord,
yes,
on such high level, how this could...
we just agreed, discussed that earlier on. He's doing to teach us a lesson. Yeah, that's one thing. And the other thing is, too many people were disturbing him, so he wanted to have peace and quiet. So the Lord has used him to enact this pastime. Yeah. If you really want to know more, I think it's in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm not really sure which section, but it's there. They explain about him, his position. But anyway, this is a sign of his fall down. So there are many signs of fall down, so this one sign. Text 22. Ashadita havishi barhishi dushite mayopalabdho bitaha sapadi uparata rasa rishi kumaravad avahita karana kalapa aste. When I place all the sacrificial ingredients on the kusha grass, the deer, when playing, would touch the grass with its teeth and thus pollute it. When I chastise the deer by pushing away, it would immediately become fearful and sit down motionless, exactly like the son of a saintly person. Thus it would stop its play. So basically it's just
identify itself as a son.
As a son now. He had wonderful sons, now he's working a deer son. So this is a very dear son. Text 23. Kimbare acharitam tapasvinyanaya yad iyam avanihi savinaya krishna saratanaya tanutara subhaga shivatama karakura pada pantibir dravina vidura turasya kripanasya mama dravina padavim suchayanti atmanam cha sarvataha krita kautukam vijanam swargapavarga kamanam deva yajanam karoti. After speaking like a madman in this way, Maharaj Bharata got up and went outside. Seeing the footprints of the deer on the ground, he praised the footprints out of love, saying, "O unfortunate Bharata, your austerities and penances are very insignificant compared to the penance and austerity undergone by this earth planet. Due to the earth's severe penances, the footprints of this deer, which are small, beautiful, most auspicious and soft, are imprinted on the surface of this fortunate planet. This series of footprints show a person like me, who am bereaved due to loss of the deer, how the animal has passed through the forest and how I can regain my lost wealth. By these footprints, this land has become a proper place for brahmanas who desire heavenly planets or liberation to execute sacrifices to the demigods. Just see.
Mad.
Mind-blinded.
Totally mad, huh?
Shows us prema for Krishna.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing. This is just take the deer out and put Krishna. So yeah, in one sense, he is at that level.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah.
The Akrura also looking at the footprints of
Yes.
Krishna when he
Yeah.
went to.
But his point is